Well, good morning, beautiful people. So, I am going to do a policy review. When we call clients on the phone, we don't just call them to sell them a policy. We see what they have in place to make sure they have what they think they have. Because a lot of times you call them and say, "Oh, I have a policy already." Okay, great. I'm glad you have a policy. All right, so here we go. Oh, hello, Miss Mary. That is wonderful. I'm thrilled that you already have an insurance policy in place. Not only does it say you love your family, but it also says you're taking steps to protect them. I want to commend you on that. I wish more people took action the way you did. Now, as a result, I'm going to do something called a policy review. So, did you know that most people buy insurance, they put it in a drawer and never look at it again? Well, have you ever heard of a story about a person who paid on a policy for years? They passed away and it didn't pay out? Why do you think something like that happens? Well, that never happens anymore to our clients. Because in the old days, we used to ask people, "Do you have insurance?" They would say yes. We would check the box and move on. But that was a mistake. Because when we audited our files, we found that clients we had talked to had died, did not get what they were supposed to have. Some had a term policy that expired right in the drawer. Some had a universal life policy that lost the cash value and lapsed. And some had a whole life which had a loan on it. And sometimes the insurance companies owed them money and while they were still alive and never ever mentioned it. That's a shame. For an example, do you have State Farm, Allstate, or someone else? All right, great. Well, we're going to get them on the phone together, and I want you to listen to the questions that I asked them. And when I finish, I want you to grade your policy just like if you were in school. Give it an A, a B, a C, a D, a F. All right? So, Miss Mary, when I get these folks on the phone, one or two things is going to happen. Either they're going to respect you and respect the fact that when you pay your premium, it pays their salary. And as a result, they're going to answer our questions directly and provide you information you deserve to know because it is your information. Now, if they dodge the question or try to have the answers or cop an attitude, um, we're going to have a little problem because 9 times out of 10, that means that they pulled up your policy on their computer and saw something so bad or so shocking that they know that if they give us an honest and direct answer to my questions, you're going to learn something that is going to make you upset. So if that happens, I'll have to get a little Judge Judy on them. I'm never rude or unprofessional, but I represent you. So my job is to find out whether you are properly protected for your family or financially at risk. Bottom line, I take my job very seriously. So let's see if your insurance company is on the up and up. By the way, when they ask if you authorize me to discuss your policy, just say yes. And I'm going to ask everything in front of you so you can hear it from the horse's mouth, whether good or bad. So then what I do, I get the insurance company on the phone and I say, "Hello, my name is Monica. I'm a benefits coordinator and I'm trying to help one of our clients get their final affairs in order. Now, your client is here on the phone with me and I know you would need to have them authorize me to speak with me and you and I further in a moment. But I had a general question first. Is this the department that can answer questions regarding the readiness of this policy to pay for a funeral in the near term, as well as other questions about the structure of the policy, or do we need to be transferred to another department?" And they'll say, "Yes, this is department." Okay, great. Well, let me introduce your client. This is Mrs. Mary Jane, and her insurance company will need to speak with you before I can help you. Okay, so then we go ahead, we let the representative know, here is Mary Jane. This is her date of birth, 1/2/3/1988. And okay, so these are the questions that we ask. Okay, now, in case of an unpaid hospital claim, do you provide health benefits to Miss Mary Jane or just life benefits? And say, okay, so I have this form I need to fill out. So let me just ask you these questions. I want to confirm her policy number, her mailing address, the telephone that you have on file. What type of policy is this? Is this a whole life, a term, a universal? If death occurred today from natural causes, what would this policy pay out? Is this policy in force? When was the policy placed in force? The effective date and start date. Is the policy paid current? If not, when is it scheduled to lapse? Who is the beneficiary, the owner of the policy? What is the face value? Will the face value ever change? Can the face value be reduced? What is the minimum? What would that premium be? What is the death benefit? Will it ever change? What is the current cash value? What is the reduced paid up value? What is the extended term coverage? Are there any riders? If so, what are they? Will they ever change? What is the monthly premium? Will it ever change? If so, when and how much? What is the surrender value? Is there a partial surrender option on this policy? What is the maximum loan value of this policy? Are there any loans on this policy? So those are the questions that we ask for a policy review. And people that I have done a policy review with, some of them did not have any policy at all. They didn't have any coverage. They thought they had a policy. They didn't have anything. Others had a policy, but it was about to expire because maybe they had a Colonial Penn, when they had a AARP, a New York Life, that policy was going to go up, or they had a Globe policy and it ended at age 80 or sometimes age 90, and they were like in their 80s, so they could not afford for that policy to go up on them, and then they had nothing. And so I even had a gentleman, he had a $250,000 policy, and I was like, oh, that is super, that is great. But then in 10 years, that $250,000 was going to go down to only $12,000. But guess what? The premium kept going up. It was absolutely outrageous. So I just want to share with you how important it is to do a policy review. I can do that with you. We do that here at SLS free of charge. We don't just call people to sell them a policy. We call them so we can help them. And that's what I would like to do for you. So if you would need my help, you can call directly my cell phone, 484-363-7821, and I will be happy to help you to make sure you have what you think you have. Have an amazing day, and may Yahweh bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you. May Yahweh be gracious to you and give you peace. Love you.